Daz?
I'm just waiting for the wee count to come up to tell me how many he's on. But yeah.
Evening, folks. I see we've got the usual crew out. Nicole, Andy, Eddie's there as well. And, you know, Steve, otherwise known as Brett. Thanks very much for coming in. I hope everybody's good and well. Tonight we've got Alan from Renfrew Paranormal Investigators. He's a local man. He's near enough, lives near enough next to Glasgow, so he'll be able to understand what I'm saying, you know, very easily. So if you want to tell us a wee bit about yourself, Alan, and what you do and whatnot.
Yeah, my name's Alan Smith. I'm the founder of Renfrew Paranormal Investigators. Also a rescue medium. Had some experience in the field for nearly, about over 40 years. Since I was young, 5 years, I've had a lot of things happen to me when I was little, and it's just gone on from there. As I say, we're based in Renfrew because of the coronavirus. We're just on hold at the minute, but like I say, like it's just getting around to everything, like every other group, you know.
So
there's six of us in the team. There's myself, there's Leon, there's Ray, there's Catherine, there's Jules, and there's Gary. They're all in work. It's just getting the time, like you said, getting the time to go out there and do your investigating. It's all started when I was 5 years old. My mum and dad had actually bought a house, and when they bought the house off this lady, she didn't like children, and she actually died in the house. My mum had me and my brother. We lived in this house, and I kept seeing different shadows and stuff in the bedroom, coming to the door and bangings and stuff, and I thought nothing of it, you know. And then I started seeing figures and stuff coming into the bedroom and hearing moaning and groanings, and I was getting things thrown. Cut story short, I got through downstairs when I was young, literally got through down the stairs, spiral staircase, hit the bottom of the door. Mum and Dad opened the door. They thought I just fell down the stairs. No, I got pushed down the stairs, and it's in the back of my mind, and it sticks in my mind. When I was little, my mum used to pick me up, and she used to about ready to come down the stairs, and she used to get thrown. My mum got through down the stairs with me in her arms a few times. And then eventually it come to it where I thought I wasn't having it no more, and I kept praying every night. I need some help. And this particular night, the door opened, and it was on Halloween. I'll never forget it. My mum says, "Oh, you better get upstairs to bed because your dad will be here in a minute," because it was up the pub having a drink. So we went upstairs, and I'll never forget it. It was Carry On Screaming, and it was on the telly downstairs. And my mum says, "Oh, you can't watch that. Your dad will be here in a minute. Get upstairs." So we went upstairs. The door on the landing, we got a big long corridor to my mum's bedroom. What it was, the door opened, and the old lady showed herself to us, and she says, "Get to bed," in a creepy voice. And she used to come in every night and scare us to death. And we used to get under the bed covers and everything. And she used to come right up to the bed and get this stick and start rattling the bed. And it was really bad. A lot of things happened, and then it just went on and on. And then we just moved up to the other house, and then we moved into that house. And I've been lifted off the bed. I've been bit. I've been scratched. The house my mum and dad lives in, well, my mum lives in now, where I grew up. There was a boy in the family that used to play Ouija board, and the family was well into it. And they opened it up, and something come through. They had to get the priest in. It was all hush-hush and everything. The local priest come in. The boy got possessed. There was a lot of things happening, and it was all hush-hush, and nothing was said about it. Many a times I used to come back from work at night. I was in the bath. The light used to go off. I used to have the taps going on and off. The doors were banging. The lights were on and off. But it's just happened all the same. So it's just gone on and on. spirit. I've always seen spirit, and I've always heard stuff. I've heard voices and everything, and it's just gone on from there, really. And that's where I am now. Like,
So, do you think you see? It's obviously you get quite a sharp introduction to paranormal. And you see, well, do you think maybe it was anybody else in your family gifted or?
yeah, me mum's side, her great auntie and her daughter, they was both mediums. They lived down south, and they was working the platform years ago when Harry Edwards and Doris Stokes was about. There's quite a few who, quite sensitive and stuff. And then I just started going to the church, spiritualist church and stuff, and started going there. And then when I was going to the church, the medium on stage, they used to say, "Oh, I've got a message for you at the back, Alan Smith." And I, me, and goes, "Yeah, you." And then I used to see spirits on the stage while she was talking to the family, my granddads, my aunties and uncles, people who I knew who had passed. And she said, "I want to speak to you after." She used to give me messages and stuff. And it was like every week I used to go there. And then eventually we went to another spiritualist church. And we started there was doing a bit of healing for me because I had a bad leg. And they started doing a lot of healing and stuff. And it got to the stage where, we're going to start doing this. I want to do more. So I started doing a lot of meditation. Started reading a lot of books and meditation and stuff. And we've done a few courses and stuff. Got a certificate and stuff. And then when I was going to one of the churches once, I had to go in hospital for my leg for an operation. By this time, I had 6 operations on my left leg, and I had to have my leg amputated. So I went into Garton Naval Hospital, and I thought to myself, "This is a bit weird." Went in there, and I had a lot of things come to me when I had my operation, and this is when it all started. I started seeing spirit, and I had people visiting me who worked in the hospital. And I mentioned it to one of the sisters in the hospital, and she says, "How did you know her name? She's been dead 30 years. How did you know her?" I said, "She came to me last night." And she says, "Can you describe her?" So I described her to a T, who she was. Then about half an hour after, there were 2 sisters from the hospital in Glasgow come up to me, and she says, "How did you know her?" I said, "She came to me." She says, "Could you tell me anything else?" I said, "Yeah." I told her where she died, what happened to her. And she's she's been speaking to me. And then there was a few others then kept coming to me and speaking to me. Give a message to such and such, tell the nurse not to sit on the chair and fall asleep. And I told her, and she thought it was funny. And after that, I started getting a lot more. And then I had somebody came to me this particular night. It was in 2012 when the Olympics were on in August, 31st of August. I think it was 3 or 4 days after. And I seen a spirit, angelic spirit, and she was leaning over me. And she just went like that to me. Shh. And I looked up. It didn't frighten me. And she told me her name. And ever since then, she's been with me. And she's been nearly like a guide. And I feel really close. And I've always worked with the spirit realm. And then I started progressing from there. And then every time I go anywhere or say a location, I'll get a vision. At one particular place we went to, I've got a vision of me seeing somebody getting burnt to death. I was actually in the room with them. I didn't look at the history of the place or nothing. And they says that I says, "Why are you showing me this? This is what happened to us in this building." And I went, "Right, okay. You're going to come to this for an investigation." 2 weeks after, I got a message off somebody from Paisley, and she says, "Your letter." There were 6 letters. People, investigation groups, had asked them to do an investigation. She says, "Your letter was turned upside down every morning I've been in, and your letter's turned up on upside down, and it's on my desk out of these 6 letters. And I want you to know if you can come in. When I walked into the building, the first thing I done, I went straight to the place where I actually seen the vision. It was a firefighter and a little girl. They actually perished in the building.
Right.
And he turned around to me and said, "We don't want to leave here. We're happy where we are." I said, "That's fine. I'm not going to move you on if you're happy." And then the other spirits come in. And because people have been going there and they've been doing the Ouija board, they've been table tipping and everything else, and they've been opening everything up, they've had a lot of glasses thrown, and they've had different noises, disembodied voices and different things. So it's just gone from there then. And I have different visions. If I go to a place, I don't like knowing about the place. I usually just walk in, or I get a vision before I even go to the place, or I even know. I was even told by a medium before I went to this place that someone's gonna say to you, "Get down into the cellar." We had a recording. It's on the page, our page, and it says, "Get Alan down in the cellar. Get down." And she says, "Whatever you do, don't go down." I didn't go down. Ray went down, and Gary went down to pick the equipment up in the cellar. When they went down and they come back, both of them said that there was something. They could feel something around them. Something happened. I can't tell you what happened. They're probably, if Gary's listening, he'll probably tell you. Something got attached. We do protection prayers before and after the investigation, but sometimes they'll latch onto anything. It could be a piece of equipment. You don't realise they can attach to a piece of equipment what you've been using. It could be a K2 meter. It could be a ghost box. It could be anything. They could attach to it, and they can follow you home, and they can start causing not just to yourself, to family members also. So things happened. But like I said, there's a lot of things happened.
But you say obviously you've had quite a bit happen to you so far. You were talking about the spiritualist churches. Is that the spiritualist churches in Glasgow you used to go to?
Johnston.
No, because
Johnston Church. They moved it a few times. Me and Ray used to go there. We used to go there once a week, and then we used to go down into Renfrew. But Renfrew, they closed it. I don't know why. I don't know, because you used to have you used to have a lot of platform mediums who used to come around. I know quite a few of the platform mediums who go to different churches, and you used to see them every other few weeks when they come. But we used to go to the churches and stuff, and it's just like, I think it's just like going to different investigations and stuff. I don't know what it is, but every time we go, you've got to have an open mind when you go on investigations. You've got to understand, we all pass one day, and we'll become a spirit. But the butt's in the back of your head, because it's all right saying, the spirit's there, and all this. You've got to respect the spirit. Yeah, you get nasty spirits, and you get good spirits, and you get sinister spirits. Some spirits who's probably had a bad doing when they were here, or something. It could have been a murder. It could have been anything. And it's just the way that they've purveying themselves to you, or they don't want you in the building. They might still. I can explain. It's like a residual energy. If there's a building and someone's actually died in that building, and you go to that building and you keep seeing it doing the same thing, it's like they think they're still alive, and they want to do the same thing. But you get spirits where they don't want you in. It's my house, get out. You've seen these films, get out, it's my house. Yeah, it does happen. We've heard it and seen it. As I say, there's one or two investigations we've done where there's a lot of, I can explain, there's been a lot of things happen. A lot of things happening in the building. But it's not always the building, it's the ground.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say as well. A lot of people think, it's the building that's haunted. But I mean, I'm in a few ghost groups, and you go and you see people. My house, I think my house is haunted. But I always say to them, the first thing you're better doing is checking out the history of the building and the land as well. Check the two of them, because you say you can get a brand new building, a brand new school, or whatever, and it can be really active because it's the land that's active. Selena's asking, have you ever been to Nielsen Spiritualist Church?
No, I know quite a few people who go there, like Anne Pollock. I know quite a few different people. I know good friends on Facebook and personal friends, like for the family. I know quite a few different mediums.
I think Selena's from Barhead, actually, so she's not that far for you. As far as I remember, Barhead, is that right, Selena? I think you're from Barhead.
That's just up the road, it's not far.
Yeah. It was down for Pollock, so I was kind of in the middle of, I was in the middle of both these. Did you find that after you started going to a spiritualist church, you became more open to spirit?
Yeah, I used to do it. I still do now. I do a lot of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And I do a lot of explaining. I like to try and focus. I had my third, they call him. I was at the other property, and I was sitting there doing meditation one night.
Mm-hmm.
I had a guy come in front of me, and he wore all white. And he says, "My name's Archie." I went, "Archie?" I thought it was a spirit coming to me, because I used to get a lot of spirits come up to me and say, "I need your help," or "There's something wrong." I used to see him in the paper, or the next couple of days, they're either died or something, and I'd see him. And it come to the point where it's too much. So he came to me, this guy, his name's Archie. I'll never forget it. He's with me all the time. And he says, "I'm here to help you along your way." So when I used to go to the church at Johnston, this is true, was in a circle one night. There was about 40 of us in the room. And I says, "What I want you to do," in my own words, in my head, I says, "Archie, I want you to show yourself to some of these mediums in the room." And we sat in this circle. This is the truth. Probably, if anybody's listening, they'll know this. I turned around and said, "Show yourself in front of them to let them know that you're here." So one of them, two of the mediums, well-known mediums, put their hand up and said, "Has anybody got any questions?" And someone says, "Yeah, there's a gentleman here, all in white. His name's Archie, and he belongs with Alan." And they looked at me, and then somebody else said, "Yeah, I seen him standing behind you, and he walked round. He just helps me along the way if I need any help or anything to do with the spirit realm." I've got a lot of connections with the spirit realm and have a good understanding. I'm not frightened of seeing anything. I've seen a lot over the years. As I say, we had an investigation out at the other side of the Atlantic. I think it was one of the most haunted pubs in Scotland today.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's boarded up at the minute. Me and Ray, when we first got a call, "Could you come and look around?" So we went over, met the landlady. As soon as we walked in, we always do a protection prayer before we go in and everything. And this time we just walked in. Mm-hmm. I had a bad headache, really bad pains in my head. Raymond says, "My stomach's killing me. It's really bad." I said, "Let's go outside." So we went outside. I'd done a circle prayer, protection prayer, and I called Archie. I says, "We need some help in here." He said, "It's okay, go back in." We went back in, and I says, "Don't tell me nothing about the place. I don't want to know nothing about the place at all." As soon as I walked in, I said, "This building has been moved twice." She looked at me. This was the landlady. She says, I says, "Can I have a walk around?" She says, "Yeah, of course you can." So we went over there when everybody was leaving, and I walked around. We walked around, went down into the cellar. We walked everywhere. And I came up. I said, "There's something happened in here, and it's not good."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "There's something really bad." And she said, "What do you mean?" I says, "There's fatalities here. What of someone's died in here, and there's not just one. There's a few." Yeah. So apparently they moved the pub. They moved the pub twice because it was that bad. We went down in the cellar. You take your K2 meter and stuff. I like walking around the place, me and Raymond. We walked around the place because me and Raymond was the only first two with a group at the time before the other members come in. So we went down into the cellar, and Raymond had a camera in his hand, and we walked down. And as soon as I turned round in the doorway, we had 3 to 4 spirits standing in the door. And I've seen them clear as day. And Raymond looked at me and he goes, am I seeing something here or not? I said, yeah. He says, at the end of the doorway. He says, how are we going to get back up the top? I said, it's all right, just follow me. Whatever you do, just look forward and don't do nothing, just carry on walking. We walked straight through them, literally. We took pictures on the camera, which are on our page. People says to me, even the landlady says, he looks like Casper, like the ghost.
Aye.
I says, no. I said, it's legit. I said, this is what we've caught. They've come forward because I asked them. I said, do you want to show yourself? But when they started coming forward, I felt a negative entity trying to stop them from coming through. So we went upstairs, and there was a lot of activity. And this particular time, I think it was about 4 or 5 times he investigated it. The landlady, she got affected. It was affecting the business and her family, and she was being physically attacked. Her stomach cramps. The people who worked there were getting physically, I can't come in today. I've got a bad stomach. My head's killing me. I don't feel too good, and all this. And then one day she phoned me and says, "Can you come back?" So we went back one night, this particular night, and we stood at one end of the bar, and it was clear as day. And I says, "I want you to come forward." And all he heard was someone say, "I'm going to cut your effing throat."
Right, lovely.
And this is one of the EVPs I caught. And it was behind the camera. They stood behind the camera. And I says, "You don't scare me." And every time I said something, she kept repeating it back. It was caught on recorder, and it was caught on the camera recorder in front. So anyway, cut the story short, I went down into the cellar because Raymond says one of the CCTV cameras got blurred. Could you go down and clean it? So I went downstairs with a cloth, and he says, "Oh, it's disappeared now." So when I was down there on my own, because Raymond was upstairs looking at the CCTV monitor, I had a young boy come up to me and said, "I took the key last night, and the money in the safe, it's mine." And he says, and then Mary, my guide, says to me, "Ask Mary upstairs about the safe with a key." Because the light went out and the boy took the safe key and he had a lot of money in the safe, the takings, and they couldn't get it because they never had the key. So I went upstairs and I walked up to Mary and she says, "What's up?" I said, "I've got something to tell you." I said, "Last night," I said, "you lost something here, didn't you? The key." And the light went out for the safe. She says, "How did you know that?" I says, "The boy done it. He took it last night." I said, "I've asked him if he'll bring it back and put it onto the bar." The next morning she come in, the safe key was put onto the bar and she got it back. But this particular night, we went back again and I asked the spirits, and I brought all my guides close to me, and I says, "There's a lot of spirits in here, they need crossing over." And I kept getting, help me. It was on my mind and I was thinking about it. And I says to Raymond, "We've got to go back." So we went back this particular night, and we had the cameras on, all the night vision cameras and everything else, and it was pitch black. And this entity spirit, I'd say a sinister spirit, and we weren't the only ones who picked this up. Not until after, I think it was Glasgow Paranormal. They went in there previous, and and Lorraine, medium, she turned around and said that there was a sinister or a spirit in the building. And I turned around and said, "This is weird." And this was after I found out about this, because I tried to contact them, but I couldn't get in touch with anybody. And I wanted to know what their input was about this, because I know they've been in there and had activity, and I know they had EVPs and different things. But this particular time, I turned around and said to Raymond, "We need to do something about this." And we called out, and I said, "Look," I says, "at the end of the day," I said, "you've got to release these spirits. You've got to let them come through." But this other spirit, the negative spirit, was holding them back. And it was all down to this, what happened in the pub, in the corner. I know exactly what happened in the corner to the pub. It was all hush up, hush, hush. Nobody didn't want to know about it. I even contacted the police to get some insight. And they said the case was still open. I said, fair enough. They wouldn't take EVPs, because we had a lot of EVPs, and I mean Class A EVPs. It was saying, tell Peter it's Paul, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, and someone said, yeah, I heard you speak. I said, that weren't me. I said, that was the EVP, what we caught. It was Class A. We caught the EVPs and everything. And then she said, oh, there's a guy here who lives in the village. He has some information for you. He said he'll meet you Friday. So I said, okay, Friday. So a friend of mine, he's a medium. He's from Glasgow. He's a part of the Scottish Society, Research Society, and along Neilston Road, you know. And I was like, anyway, he says to me, I'll meet you on a Friday. So on the Friday comes, we was going to meet him, and he didn't turn up. Both of them didn't turn up, and I thought, that's a bit strange. I gets to the pub, and I phoned his phone, and his wife answered the phone, and he says, I'm sorry, is that Alan? I went, yeah. I'm sorry to tell you, he had an heart attack. I said, sorry? She's had an heart attack onto the location, on the way to the location. So that was one down. He was in hospital. He got over his heart attack, and I contacted him after, and he said, I felt really rough on the way in the car, and he just had an heart attack. He survived it, but the guy who was going to give us the information, who lived in the village, he died. He died the same day, and that's the truth. He died. So when we got to the pub, I was told that he passed away. The guy who was going to see us on the Friday, and also a friend of mine who is a medium, had an heart attack. So I do believe there was something connection to do with the pub.
Definitely. To me, that sounds too coincidental.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think there was something. I think I can explain. A lot of spirit know what you're thinking, know what you're doing. They can read your mind. They can mimic you. You know, they can mimic spirits, mimic loved ones. We've had that done over investigations, and I do believe that, you know, they can change stuff that you wouldn't imagine.
That's true. I mean, let's face it. I don't think everybody, you know, knows exactly how powerful a spirit can be. You know, what they're exactly capable of. But you've done. I know you've done a load of. Have you done any cemeteries or whatever, you know, around with Glasgow? We were going to go to the necropolis. See, we've done quite a wee bit in Edinburgh. But we love Edinburgh, Greyfriars and everything. And we started to go to, you know, going to Glasgow, and but then, you know, this current situation happened, so it threw everything up in the air. So what about cemeteries, graveyards, that kind of thing?
A couple of years ago, I went down south. My dad had passed away, and there's a church. There's a castle, Astley Castle. Lady Jane Grey, she was there, and Henry VIII, and all them. And the castle, it was like I can explain. It got set fire to and derelict. And I used to go there when I was a kid, little and like. We used to all my mates. We used to go up there. We used to go down into the dungeon and all round it and stuff. And you know, you've seen different things. They had old tombstones. And when we used to go camping and that years ago, I'll never forget it. We went up there. It was late at night, and there was quite a few of us. And you go out with your torches and stuff, and we're going through the graveyards and that. And we swear down we seen somebody in white. Well, they kept saying the lady in white is Lady Jane Grey. So we said, yeah, whatever. So anyway, cut the story short, I went down there when my dad died a few years ago, and I thought to myself, I'll go to the cemetery opposite the castle. So I had my camera with me, and I was taking some pictures, and I could sense there was something there, but I couldn't see it at the time. So I got my camera, and I started taking pictures, and then I seen a figure by the graves, one of the graves. And then when I took the camera, I shot to round by the cemetery, there was about 5 or 6 faces. An old picture. It's on the page. I took a picture, and there was like 5 or 6 faces looking through this grid by the cemetery. And then when I went and seen the family's graves, as I turned around, I could sense there was somebody behind me. So when I turned around and took a picture, I caught a picture. It looked like a nun, because I know there were a lot of nuns and monks around there that time. So I took a picture, and it was actually a nun's face by the fence. So when I got back, I looked at the pictures, and I got a magnifier and put the magnifier on it. And the 2 pictures I took, one after the other, I usually take 2 or 3 pictures, one after the other straight away. And when I've done that, it shows you that they're 1 minute, and gone the next.
The next, yeah.
And then what I've done that same day, not far from the Astley Castle, a friend of mine says to me, I know where there's a nunnery, but it's underground. And it's in Ansley. So he gave me the directions, and I went myself, and it's like all covered over, and it's underground. So I started going into it on my own, and I started taking pictures and stuff. And then I heard somebody say, it's Father such and such. And I heard it. So I had a recorder on me. And then he says, I'm here. Do you want to speak to me? So when I started talking, and I turned around with the camera, I caught he showed himself, and it was like there was no reflection off the camera. It was like an orb, but above the orb there was an old figure's face on it. Yep. So I got that on camera and took the picture, because I asked him, is it all right if I take a picture? But there's an awful lot, and like I said, there's a lot of graves. We've got a chance of going up into Edinburgh when this lockdown's finished. There's a few places we've been asked to do. We've got somewhere in Dundee. Somewhere we've got a private residence in Falkirk. Someone's contacted me. They need me assistance. I have assistance with a group. And there's 1 or 2 places, but Greyfriars, we've got a chance of doing that, I think, as well. And there's 1 or 2 places. It's let's say there's quite a few different places, but it's just like the lockdown. It's just knocked everything off. It's on hold,
You see, we do. We've done a lot of places in Edinburgh, the Royal Mail to the castle, we've done the Canongate, and we've been to Greyfriars. I've lost count the amount of times we've been to Greyfriars. We were told a couple of months ago, Sarah, was it?
Yeah.
But I got an email from one of the tour companies in Edinburgh saying that the council had actually stopped. They weren't allowing investigations in Greyfriars. But it doesn't stop people getting in.
No.
People are still in and
People
doing
are going to go, aren't they?
They're going to. Greyfriars is open 24/7, and I think that's part of the appeal as well, because it's never on the website. It says it shuts at 5:30, but it doesn't shut.
Be open on it.
It's constantly there. I've always felt a very strong pull to Greyfriars, and I've said that many a life. I love Edinburgh. I think Edinburgh's a fantastic place. Just the sheer volume of history that's in that, the city, especially around the old town, that particular bit. And every time I've been, I've always had to go to Greyfriars. There's always got a kind of pull to me to go, even if it's 10 minutes, go in, wander about and come back. I've always had to pay a visit to it, Have you got any places with that? Is there any particular location that you feel a kind of strong pull to that you need to go?
Yeah, we had, there was 2 actually. I wrote a letter to Stirling Castle. And they got back to me and said, yeah, we'll let you do an investigation. I've got the letter somewhere in the file. And they said, yeah, we'll let you do an investigation, but you won't be able to stay. You can leave your cameras and you can pick them up in the morning. But saying that, you've got security, because I know the security, they've seen a lot of apparitions, faces, all over the place. We was asked if we fancy going in there to give them a ring, and they'll sort this out. But there is one place a few places we did go, we got access off local authorities, and it was Aberfoyle.
Yeah, aye.
Fairly known.
Mm-hmm.
We was asked to do a walk round at night and get permission. You had to have permission off the rangers and the police, let them know that you're on the premises. So we had to get it in writing. So where the film Star Wars in the wood, very known. There's been a lot of deaths up there. There's suicides and that, a lot of things that happened over the years, and there's witches and there's a lot of mysteries. The local residents have seen figures coming out of the wood, horsemen on horseback, different things, and it's been reported and logged. So we went up there a couple of times, and we had some experiences up there. We've seen a lot of things when we was up there, right in the top, right in the top of the peak. We heard a lot of moaning and groanings and singing and stuff. We caught some pictures. We haven't posted them because we weren't allowed, because it's authorities. So you're not allowed to do that. So that's fine. We can talk about it, but we can't post anything. So we've done that. I think it was twice. But they said you can come back if you want. But there's, so there's loads of places to go to. But I'd rather get permission off most of the companies, in case you get done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly. You get these teams or these individuals that just wander in, without permission, and they get collared for it. Clover, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Clover Thistles.
Yeah, that's Catherine.
Catherine. Special investigation in Greyfriars, the prison. I take that, did you? It's the Nidri Street Vaults.
Yeah, we've got permission. That's Catherine. Catherine's organising that. So we're just waiting for this lockdown to ease down a bit, so we can sort something out.
Yeah, it's holding. I was a city and we don't discuss it, but it is. It's holding everybody back. But we did a tour of the Blair Street Vaults, which is just along through Nidri Street, and that's a strange place, the atmosphere.
Oh, that was a weird night.
So Sarah will tell you about it.
We went for my birthday.
Yeah.
And we went, obviously, like Scott said, we went on the tour, and then when we got into the vaults, we were in the first room that they take you into.
Yeah.
And before that, I was kind of sceptical. I'm still kind of a wee bit sceptical, but before then, I wasn't really into the paranormal as such. And we were standing in the first room that you get took into, and I was absolutely roasting to the point where I was sweating buckets. And then the minute we went into the next room, I was totally fine. My clothes were dry. Oh, it was a total.
Yeah, you usually get that, when you burn up or anything. Usually it's when a spirit comes close, they can either drain. Yeah, I can explain. They can either drain, make a place cold by taking the energy out of that atmosphere to make it cold, to draw their energy, or what they'll do is they'll go to you and they'll burn you up and try and drain your energy from you and make you feel like crap. That's what happens when you want to.
Oh, it was totally weird, especially it was honestly I can't even describe it. It was just totally weird.
There's somebody. Stu, is that one of your team, Alan? Or?
Who's that?
Stu.
Just trying to think. I don't know. Might be. I know that many.
I want to come up in panel, but tell us a wee bit about yourself, buddy, before we put the link up.
Have you ever heard anything about any hospitals being haunted?
The one York Hill in Glasgow, the old York Hill, that's meant to be quite haunted.
I've got something to say to you. years ago, I used to go up to the pain clinic at Stobbill Hospital. It got they diverted it from the Gartnavel Hospital, and until they built the new Stobbill Hospital in Glasgow, the old asylum grounds where it used to be. And there's a lot of stories about different things. Anyway, this particular day, I went up there for some treatment, and I was laying down on this bed, and the two nurses come up and the doctor, and she says, "What do you do in your spare time, like?" And I says, "Oh, just do it as an hobby, like paranormal, you know, in the group and that." She says, "You want to try and get in here?" I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "The theatres." She says, "I shouldn't be saying this, but she says you can say it." She's at the theatres when they sort all the trolleys out in the theatres in Stobbill. They get when they was ready to bring somebody in, all the trays got chucked across the floor, all over the floor, and they said it was something to do. I said, "It's not the building." I said, "It's the ground." They've had that many things happen. The doors swing open, the trays have gone flying, the machines are turned off, different things like. And I said, there's loads of things happen. Even the doctors have seen stuff, but they don't say anything because I think they're going mad. You know what I mean?
What's it called? The Victoria.
They give me this paper here. I've just pulled it out today, and it's got on it, the date on it was March and April 2011. That's when they give it me. I've just found this paper out, and it shows you the old asylum before they pulled it down. And then they built the new Stobbill Hospital on the grounds. And there was a few cases. She said, "Oh, read this." So I was reading inside it. And it was on about one of the doctors. They actually, he tried to speak his truth. And what they done, they apparently locked him in a room and shut the door. And just left him like, oh, there's loads of stories, you know what I mean?
I know the Royal's meant to be, the old part of the Royal is meant to be really haunted. The new part's meant to be active as well, but the front part is meant to be really active. That's the only hospital I've heard of. We went a few weeks back. We went up to Sarah will remember the name of it. It's up back to the north of Glasgow.
Gartlock.
Gartlock.
Yeah.
Gartlock mental asylum. It was
was that the one got pulled down recently?
It's getting pulled down. It was originally meant to have been pulled down by now, but obviously because of what's been happening, it's not been pulled down yet. But it will be getting pulled down shortly. But it was an old mental asylum, and it was also used for something during World War II.
Yeah, Gartnavel was haunted and all. When I was in Gartnavel, I've seen a lot of stuff in there. I was in HDU for 7 days, 8 days, and I had some experiences in there and seen stuff. As I say, that hospital is an old hospital, and there's different people seeing different stuff. And then when I was in my 20s and I had some operations on the leg, and I was at St Mary's Hospital in Birmingham, a really old hospital. And there was only I think there was 3 of us in this ward. I think the ward old about 8 in it, and it was a really old building. I'll never forget it. I was sitting up in bed. We had no TV, and I was just talking to the guy opposite me. And the other guy was like out for the count, and I was talking to this guy, and there was a trolley in the middle of the room, what goes across the bed, the tea trolley thing, and it literally shot from the middle of the floor right up against the wall. And when the sister come in, she says, "Oh, don't worry about it. That's normal in here." That's what you mean. She said the activity in here is horrendous. They get beds the beds bouncing up and down and all sorts. And that was at St Mary's Hospital. I think it's one of the oldest hospitals in Birmingham. I don't know if it's. I think it's a cancer hospital. I think they use it for now, like. But there's a lot of you hear that many stories about different places. I see a lot of people won't say much because I think they're going around the twist. When you got like your Facebook account, you'll get people coming onto your page. "Oh, my name's such and such," and all of a sudden you'll get a message come up, and they'll say, "Can I tell you something?" I said, "Of course you can." "Oh, we've got such and such happened here. We're getting like this. We're getting this done. We've had this and we've had that." And I turned around and I said, it's surprising where people don't say anything because they're scared in case people think they're going round the twist. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you
I know exactly. As you're saying, a lot of the hospitals are haunted, there's a lot of activity in, excuse me, and if you ask staff, and you say, "Oh, that happens every night," but you don't actually hear it outside the confines of the hospital. If it's no in the newspapers or anything. Because as you say, I mean, I know if I came out of my work and I says, "Oh, a bunch of plates went flying across the kitchen tonight," people would just think, no,
you're around the twist,
you're off your trolley, basically. That's one of the questions I was going to ask you, actually, Alan Clover. This was just say
Victoria Bats.
Renfrew. Can you tell us about that place?
Yeah, we back in 2009. I was contacted by one of the managers. He's left now, like area manager, and he was like in charge of all the leisure centres. I think he was in charge of the Blue Lagoon in Paisley and Renfrew, and some of the leisure centres in Renfrew. And he says to me, "Would you do a review, investigate it for us?"
Mm-hmm.
So we went down there about 8:30 at night, and he goes, "You got the run of the mill. Never cost us anything, because now it costs you £355 for an investigation at Victoria Bats. That's now."
Right.
But 2009, he says, "Can you do an investigation?" So I says to Raymond, "What we'll do, get a few bits together." So we went down there with a few cameras and tripods. And he says, "Do you want me to turn the lights off?" I said, "No, just leave them on." I knew some of the history about the place and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I just walked in there with open mind. We'd done protection and everything. So, pardon me. So we went into the baths. And this is all the activities down in the dunny, down underneath the pool. So we went down into the dunny, took a fast recorder, put it downstairs. As we was walking downstairs, we set the camera up. And as we was walking around under the pool, we kept hearing singing. It was clear as day. I said, "Oh, probably someone's got a radio on or something, Raymond." He said, "Do you think so?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "We'll ask the woman in a bit when we go back up." So he was walking around and I was asking questions and stuff, saying, "We respect you and all this is such and such from Renfrew Paranormal and all that." And then we kept hearing bangings and groanings and stuff. So we left the recorder there and then we went back upstairs. And then we heard somebody, clear as day, "Bring back my boy, bring him back." And Raymond said, "Did you hear it?" I went, "Yeah." So we went back upstairs. And as we was upstairs, I said, "I think there's somebody up here on this side of the pool." So we've got the K2 meter out and we've got the EMF meter. We've got a few other gadgets and they were going mad. There's no electric on the side of the pool. I said, "Is any electric or any wire in here?" She went, "No, there's no electric, nothing." Because of the pool. It was going mad. We get halfway across the pool to one of the cubicles and the K2 meter was going mad. The spike on it was right over in the red. The K2 meter, the lights on it was going right over to the red. The EMF meter, making a noise, high-pitched sound, it was going right over, asking questions, and it was responding. And I says, "Oh, give me the camera recorder." We had a DVD camera recorder at the time because we were starting out with the stuff. So it had night vision on it. We didn't need night vision. Got the camera in my hand. We panned it round by the side of the pool. And I said, "Somebody's here." We caught the mother who wore the white dress. We caught the two boys. And we caught a monk behind the green doors on the DVD camera. They were standing there. And he had his face right up to the glass, the boy. The guy who's the manager, he showed me I've seen the footage. It's on Facebook. It's been all over social media. He had his camera, I think it was his iPhone he had at Christmas or something. And when he was locking up, he caught the boy running up. You see him in his shorts, an apparition. He was running up the stairs and across the top. He caught something. I know that there's staff who work there who have been buffing the floor up on the side of the pool where the plug has been pulled out while they've been using it. There's a lot of stuff. We caught loads of stuff in that place. We've had a black mass with the orbs in it around the pool. We've caught full apparitions in there. We've had all this stuff go dead. When we got there, I think it was last year. Was it last year or the year before? We was getting into the building, and the staff met us, and she says, "As soon as you just come, all the lights started to flicker on and off." I said, "Yeah, they know we've come in." I was told that. We went in. We had the SLS camera on my laptop. It was all like properly built by this company I know from down south, and it was fully charged. It lasted for about probably 8 hours. Put it on the table. There was quite a few of us. Switched it on. It went dead. Seconds, it went dead. We had batteries in some of the cameras. These should last for about 6 to 8 hours. They went dead. All the AAA batteries, brand new batteries, charged batteries, dead. All the batteries went dead. We had Jules, one of the members, fella, he came in with his camera, his new camera, and he says, "Oh, I've got batteries." I says, "Your batteries are going to die in a minute." He goes, "How do you know?" I said, "You wait." Next minute, he put his batteries in. They were dead. They were drained. So I give him some batteries. He said, "I've got enough batteries." But on that night, we caught, I said, "Someone's up on the side of the pool looking over." Took a picture. The boy's face, he was standing on top of the side of the pool. We've caught loads of apparitions in that place. When me and Raymond, when we were down in the Dunny the first time, back in 2009, we had a dark, solid figure. We had the camera, and because of the reflection off the wall, off the light, was flat on the blue wall in front of us. We could see the reflection behind us. Something dark figure, must have been, 7-8 foot tall. It shot from one end to the other. And I says to Raymond, "There's somebody here." And then in front of down in the Dunny and the bottom, in the tunnel, there's an hole in the wall. Well, I know a lot of groups have played Ouija board and table tipping and over the years and stuff. And I said, "There's something here." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "There's definitely something here." Well, there was a lot of wind. It built up, and it was blowing all these black sheet things in front. It's on our page, and all of a sudden it went all dark. And I says to Raymond, "Take some pictures of this place here." So some of the pictures, it was clear because there was a light. The infrared light showed it was clear inside this hole. And then a minute after, it went dark and black. So there was a dark presence then. And I do believe we got followed from day one. I know that the taps upstairs kept getting turned off. The toaster, that was getting put on. This was told us by the manager, the area manager. We went up in one of the offices upstairs and we caught some solid orbs. We've caught loads, but some of the batteries in our cameras, what we put on the side, they went all dead. We've caught apparitions on the side of the pool and everything. Someone's hair's been pulled. We've had in the gym, they've got a gym there. I made contact with the guy who actually passed away in the gym. And I was speaking to him and he wanted to go over, so I sent him over. And then the punch bag, there's a big punch bag in one of the rooms where all the running machines are. We was all in the other room and there was nobody else in that room. And this was on like an investigation we had with the public. And all of a sudden we heard the chain moving. We went into the other room and the punch bag, it was swinging really fast. Somebody was trying to get our attention to get out like. I do believe there's a nice spirit there. There's good and bad. You know, we've caught a lot of apparitions, orbs, loads of stuff. I think
so it's really active.
Oh, it's very active. I'll tell you what I've got. This year, before the coronavirus, I was going to do another venue, and I've got them printed.
Right.
Tickets. So I was going to get them because we get charged £355 for the night, and then you got your public liability insurance, and it adds up. So we do a ticket. So we've got, in the past, people buy a ticket. We put food on, tell them who we are, let them go around and pick a camera up, let them walk around with the stuff, you know, and then we have something to eat, we'll have a break and that, and then we'll go back into we'll split off in two groups. Then we walk around the place and see what we get. That's what we usually do, but because of this, the coronavirus, it's like it's on hold at the minute. But as I say, that's one place we probably will go back. So you'll be invited if you want to come.
Definitely. See, we're just about half an hour away from you. We're doing Kilmarnock. We were a couple of months ago, we were planning doing the same time with kind of like grave fires, getting people to come along, even if they hadn't done any investigations before. Because I think doing it that way, it's a good way to introduce people to paranormal, that might be interested in it. Instead of them just picking up a camera and going walk about in a graveyard one night and they don't have a clue what they're doing. To me, having a night like that is they can come along, they can, chat with yourself.
Just get involved in it. Get involved in it.
Aye. Have a look at your bits and pieces, and just they're not going to learn everything in one night, obviously. No. But it gives them that wee first step inside the door to say, this is what we do. This can happen, that can happen. So we think that it's definitely a good idea to do it. But if you are doing it, then Sarah and I will definitely. As I say, we're only like half an hour down the road to you. But you talk about these places charging. We've found that quite a bit. We've contacted quite a lot of places. It's like £200-300. Do you think a lot of them are maybe just cashing in because I feel like there's more and more.
Yeah, there is. I got in touch with the Tall Ship, the company who owns it in Glasgow. I know that most Haunted have done it and different other groups have done it and stuff. But when I asked them if we could do an investigation, it was like, it's £900 plus VAT for a few hours, and I'm thinking, 900.
No.
And I think so. No. We've had that. There's that many different places. Yeah, we've been to different places. Yeah, we've been to pubs and stuff. On the group, we've been to one or two places where the authorities let us do an investigation free of charge. There's one place we was asked to do. We caught activity, full apparition, a lot of orbs and disembodied voices and stuff, and we got followed as soon as we walked in by a dark shadow and a figure. And then the figure come up from out the floor and come up to me. You've probably seen the photo, and he grabbed my arm.
Aye.
And we looked back over it, and you can see something in the frame where something comes up and grabs you. But we've got one or two EVPs which is connected to some of the things what are in the building. But I did get a lot of EVPs off a lot of things. But when I got in touch with the company, they weren't interested. I was supposed to have gone for an interview with one of the prioritors, but they said they were too busy. So I said, forget it then. So we never bothered. This was going back in 2010, and I thought, forget it. But, most of the companies, it's like, well, we went to Proven All. Catherine's just says now, like, don't forget Proven All. Proven All, that I think that was 200. I think it was about 270, 280. I think that was like for the from I think it was 8:30 till about 3:30 or 4 o'clock. But a lot of the council, they shouldn't be charging that kind of money. I don't mind paying the wages for the staff and stuff and giving them a donation, which we've done in the past. But the amount of money they're charging, you've got like you said a few nights back about East Drive. They must be rolling in it.
Well, I think it's £300. If above paranormal, he's still here. Is it £250 or £300, Brett, for that East Drive? I think it's 300. I might be wrong, but if that's 7 nights a week, that's
shocking. You're talking a couple of grand a week, ain't you? Easy.
Aye.
Well, I know somebody, like I said to you, I knew somebody who was a key holder, Mark, and he had a key holder. Yeah, he knew Bill and the ones who actually owned it. And I was reading the story about the place. Yeah, it probably was active then. Like you said, it's been overpoached. Yeah, I do believe there's I do believe there's a residual energy probably in there, but the amount of people who have been playing the Ouija board and table tipping and stuff like that, it just spikes it up. I don't. We was asked to go down there to do an investigation, and I and I thought, do we go down or not? And there's that many people been, and they say, yeah, we've been there. It's the name. They made a film. Yeah, they probably did make a film. Made a good book out of it as well. You know, when the lights go out, and I've seen the film, and it's not like it's not the actual. It's supposed to be the storyline of what's happened in the building, you know, and what's happened. It's like everything, you know, like a lot of films and stuff. They like portray all this to make more money and, you know, all entertainment, you know, and stuff.
Brett, he's not a fan of East Drive. He doesn't like East Drive. The two places in Glasgow that I'd really like to do are one in Necropolis. I've been there myself just for a wander about, and the old Transport Museum. What do you think of the old Transport Museum? You know, at the side of the Kelvin Hall.
Well, that's another thing I was going to say. When the old Transport Museum used to be down by the York Hill, down on the bottom, we had the chance to do an investigation there. I got in contact with them years before they moved, and I knew one or two of the security. And they were telling me that one of the trams, what they got now in the new Transport Museum along the Clyde side, they kept seeing a lot of kids. This was after security, a lot of kids at night running around and stuff. And one of the buses, I think it's one of the double-decker buses they've got, there's a lot of activity all around the place. I wasn't surprised because it's all, you know, the artifacts, you know, there's people been all through the build, you know, all through the things, you know, all the vehicles and stuff. And they kept saying to me, it's haunted and all this business and really active here. We was going to go and do an investigation there, but at the time, one of the managers turned around and said that there was a lot of things happening, and they got a new premises which they was building, and they moved everything there. But when I contacted them again, it was like you're talking £900 odd to do the investigation, only for a few hours though.
It's just silly money.
I know that I've just seen the comment about Above Paranormal says about why do you think Luigi board and table tipping stirs up things. I know a few true case files on the Luigi board, which is to do with somebody I know very close, and it was to do with somebody. I know quite a few people who have played it, and it's caused a lot of friction in the family and a lot of upset. And I know for a sort there was a place in Glasgow, one of an house going back a few years. So I was contacted about it, and there was getting a lot of activity, and it was all a shush. I did contact the local police, and they said they were dealing with it. They got their own priests and stuff to deal with it. Apparently, the family was dealing with the Luigi board, and they were doing seance table tipping and stuff. I know. It's they say it's only a game, but I know they sell it in Poundland for a couple of quid. The game, and you know, I'm not a very good thing about it. There's quite a few things I've heard. There's a paranormal group down south. I know they were doing table tipping down in a cellar, and when they were doing the table tipping, somebody got there was actually by the table got chucked. But everybody who was in there literally picked up off the floor and more or less hit everybody. This was a group I know. A well-known group. I know a lot of stories about this, and it's done some really bad harm, especially the Luigi board, because you've opened something up that you don't know nothing about. You've opened it the same as the ghost box. You open that up, you've opened something up. You've opened a portal up. I've caught a few portals when we've been on investigations. I caught one in a wood. And I took my son Liam with me. It was in a wood, an haunted wood. And I felt a presence quite close to us. And we felt a bit lightheaded. I got the camera, normal camera. Took some pictures. I says to Liam, take pictures with your camera as well. So he took pictures. And as he took a picture, you can see an entity, literally, the spirit, all black, coming out this portal. It was swaying like a tap with water. but it was a big swirl, and it was in the wood. But at the end, right at the end, the spirit was coming through, trying to come through. And I was feeling really strong. And then as soon as we went back, and that's when we caught, I think you might have saw the picture, there's a lady sitting down on a chair, and she's crouched over. This was right near that. So there's a lot of things concerning stuff like that, portals. I've seen a lot, and I know there's a lot of people do play the Ouija board. Yeah, fair enough. Everybody's got their own opinion. Don't get me wrong. You can't stop them using it, but that's my belief anyway. I know a lot of stories what are happening to different people and households and family, not just in this country. I'm on about America, New Zealand, all over the place.
See, I've always, I think generally it's 50-50 in the Ouija board. I've never used them. It's no disrespect to people who do use them. Everybody's got their own thing, basically.
Oh, yeah.
It's something that I've never used, and I just wouldn't use it. And to be honest, I don't really know that much about it. I'm just going by what I've seen in documentaries, etc. But my way of thinking it, they might be harmless.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe why take the chance? But obviously everybody's got their own path, and they've got their own beliefs. It's something that I've never ever fancied using. And you see them on these ghost shows; they use them, and they all.
Well, that's all. It's all entertainment. There's that many been done over the years, or they've either been. It's been proven that they're faking it, running in front with a cloth over their head. There's a few big shows in America where they've put something over their head and they've caught on camera, and then all of a sudden that show's like been ended, and then they've started something else, and they're trying. They say, like they said, they go and do an investigation, and they've been doing it for 8 hours and 9 hours. Well, most of the groups that I've seen doing this for the entertainment, if they don't get anything, they throw something in or say, "Oh, look, did you see that?" They just make it
Aye, somebody behind the camera throw a stone.
It's bad though for them doing that, because they shouldn't do that stuff like that. Because if you're going to get something, if you're going to disrespect or you start effing and blinding a spirit, you'll get nothing. Literally, it's like a human. You don't touch somebody like that out of the blue and say, "Get out of the way, you effing such and such." You go into a building and start effing and blinding, you'll get nothing. You'll get disrespect, and then they wonder why they get attacked, scratched, or something else. It's like Bobby Max. It's like Bobby Max. Yeah, I'm friends with Bishop James Long, the priest. I'm friends with him on Facebook. Been friends with him for quite a while. I've done a demonology online course with him over the years and stuff. And I know that if he took his sash off, took anything off on one of the investigations, he got scratched because he weren't protected. That many stories of different stuff. I must admit, Bobby Max. That's why I'm not saying because he left. Nick Groff from Ghost Adventures. He had an experience when he went into the toilet on one of his investigations. There's that many different stories and stuff, but I do believe that is a notorious place. I haven't been there, but I've heard that many stories that different groups going to different places and stuff. It's you seeing it is believing it.
That's right, exactly. I've seen many documentaries on Bobby Max and a lot of places, but as you say, these ghost groups that are on TV, to me, and this is just my opinion, as I always say, you get these ghost groups on TV, and there's only one. I'm not going to name them, obviously, but there's only one in my experience that I've ever watched. They've actually, they've done a full episode and they've got nothing. And at the end of the episode, they've said, we didn't get a thing. That's it. And I feel it's better to do that, because it lets the people watching know that you're genuine. You're not afraid to stand up and say, "Look, we've been here for a day or a day and a night, and we've got nothing." So I think it's always better to be honest. But I think a lot of it does more damage than good to the paranormal community. These ghost shows.
It's best to be honest in what you're doing. I don't believe in, I've seen loads of people send me photos all the time. Oh, did you see this? Can you look at this for me? Can you look at that? It was taken with such and such. I've had that many photos sent me to look at them. And I look at them and I think that's a ghost app. If I see something, it's like Instagram. I'm on Instagram and somebody will put something up and I'll say, that's a ghost app. And they'll say, how do you know that? I say, you've only got to look at the picture. And they'll say, yeah, well, it's, this is what we caught last night. And I'm thinking to myself, why do it? It's just like, I think it's all wrong. Do you know what I mean?
It's too easy for people. I mean, we've done it once. I've told a story on Lives before. We went to Greyfriars one night and we took, the photographs, and when we got home, any photographs we take at Greyfriars, whatever, we always tend to find things after we've got home and we look at the photographs. But this one particular photograph we got, and it was a photograph on the side of the church, and the best way I can describe it is it looked like a small wizard standing at the side of the church. The best way I can describe it, pointy hat, beard. But we put it on a group that we were in at the time, and this guy took it. Really nice guy, the guy mailed me, commented, and he took it, and that's a photograph there. But when we first seen it, so this guy came back to us and he ripped it apart. He says, "Listen, mate," he says, "that's a plant pot," and he sent me the photograph that he'd. I don't know what he'd done with it, but he ripped it apart anyway. And it was actually a plant pot, and so I think it's always important, if you take a photograph or if you catch a sound, whatever it is, an image, to say, what do you think? What we caught, what do you think? Instead of saying there's too many people out there, and it annoys me because, it could be a picture of a light, a security light or something, and the distance say, that's an orb. I definitely caught an orb, and it turns out it's a light. I always think it's better to, but again, this is my opinion. I think it's always better to put up, what do you think? What do you think this is?
Oh yeah, see what it is. When we went to this pub at Atlantic, the landlady says to us, "Oh, I think that's Casper." You having a laugh? I went, "No." I says, "What you see is what you get." I says, "We asked them to come out," and this is just one of the pictures in our album. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on. On the side.
Is that on your Facebook page?
Oh, it is. Oh. It's what it is. It was when we was in the bar area, and we asked if you could come forward, and then we had a confrontation with the sinister spirit. I weren't the only one who actually, another group had actually picked up on her, and she was like really bad. She kept mimicking me, and I said, "You don't scare me." I said, "You have no hold on these people here. They need to cross over." And she said, "I'll cut your effing throat. Get out my effing pub. This is my pub. You can't do anything to me." And I said, "You have no hold of us over here, and you have no hold of these spirits here, and you got to release them," because she was holding them back. I do believe that some spirits, it could be a negative spirit or a sinister spirit or whatever, or demonic. It depends. As an hold over spirits and can stop them coming forward on some place. I'm not saying all. Anyway, these spirits, I said, "Look, come forward." There was the puggy machine. We seen a light come. It was by the side of the puggy machine, like a portal. And then we seen them coming through. And I says, "Can I take some pictures?" And then we started taking pictures. And then we went down this cellar. And then one of them followed us. I mean, as we was walking down, I said, "Somebody's behind us." And we took a picture. And we showed it. I say we showed it to the landlady, and she was shocked. And when we had a CCTV camera. There's a few videos up there. One of the orbs, I think she was going to the bathroom. The orb followed her, literally followed her. to the bathroom. As soon as she come out, it followed her back. And when she went home at night, she used to get stomach cramps. She used to feel sick and everything. She was affected really bad. We used to get dark shadows. We caught a big mass mist in the one end of the bar. And it was just like really bad. Everything was happening and it was affecting the business. And then when I done a cleansing and then done a clearing, it was on a Sunday, we got a phone call and she says, can you come and help us? I need your help. It was either going to sell the pub, well, sell the franchise or go bust. And I went over on a Sunday. It was a Sunday morning and the cleaners were there. And I says to Raymond, dear, grab my case. And I says, do you want to empty the pub? Do you want everyone to get out of the pub a minute? Give me half an hour. And I just went downstairs and shut the cellar door and done what I had to do, what I was taught to do. And I passed them over and I'll read them the rights and stuff. The guides come forward and stuff. And the whole place was shaking, literally banging and everything. We had a lot of activation. We had a lot of activity. The doors were banging, vibrating. Raymond looked at me. I said, it's all right. They were telling me that they weren't happy, some of the spirits. And eventually then a portal had opened up in the corner. My guide had come through and some of their loved ones from the spirit realm had come through. And I just, after it went quiet and I got a message then, a confirmation saying, thank you for letting us come over. Thank you. That's all I kept saying. They kept saying, thank you. The atmosphere changed straight away. New landlady moved in. I phoned them up and spoke to her. She says, the atmosphere's changed, totally changed. We don't get no more activity. But recently, I went online and looked at the pub and it's all boarded up. I don't know whether it's because of the coronavirus and they've gone bust or have they got activity again. I just don't know. So we'll wait and see.
See, we hadn't come out.
The pub, I'm going to tell you the pub's name. It's Craigfoot Inn.
Right.
It's I know it's the local for the Glasgow Paranormal. They used to go in there drinking. That's their local. They've investigated it a few times. And I know they've on their website they've had a lot of activity in there and stuff. And there's nothing. There's no. And when you check the history, you won't get any. You try and get history on the place, you'll get nothing. I know what's happened in there. Happened. But I just want to protect the family who's still alive today. It's still an open case. So
there's a building in Kilmarnock I used to work in it, and 3 businesses have been in it, and all the 3 businesses have failed. And I worked in the kitchen, and the kitchen was down the stairs, and there'd always been rumours the place was haunted because every business that goes into it just seems to fail. And it's a 2-minute walk from the town centre. It's not right in the town centre. To me, it's an ideal place for it to be because it's easy enough to walk to and you're not right to everything. But as I say, 3 businesses have failed. There was one night I was in the kitchen myself. It was just me and the manageress, and she was upstairs. And one of the doors to the kitchen was a swing door. Yeah. And whenever it opened, you could hear it. And one night I was doing it. I was the last one at the kitchen. I was busy in a way, whatever I was doing, and I heard the door swinging. I heard the door open. And I turned round, and you could see the door swinging. So I thought it was the manageress. So I went up the stairs, and this happened twice. So after the second time it happened, I went up the stairs, and I said, "Were you down the stairs?" She says, "No, I've been up here all night." She was tidying up the bar, whatever she was doing. I said, that door, she's down the stairs, it's just sweating. There was no way it could have been a job because there's no outside doors beside it. It's at the bottom of a staircase. There's no fire exits, nothing. But I turned in and you can see the door physically going back and forward. And the manageress says, "No, I've been up here. I'm cashing up, tidying up the bar." That's a place I'd like to, do an investigation in because I've always thought there's something funny because every business seems to fail. And I tried to check out the history on it, and I got nowhere with it. So I'd like to do that one. Have you ever been in a location and you kind of just ran out and said, "I'm never going back there again"?
Well, there is one place, not up here. It was down south, 1988, where we got married in 1986, me and the wife. We had a small first child, and I used to work for the National Coal Board. And when I worked for them, they says, "Oh, we've got some houses. Would you be interested in living in one?" And it was only £14.75. I know it sounds stupid. £14.75 a week rent, right? You can't get nothing for that, you know what I mean? So there you go. He says, "Well, what we'll do, we'll get all the boards off, and we'll paint the windows and everything else." And I said, "What do you mean, get all the boards off?" So I says, "All right, then. Do you want to come and look round?" So I walked into the place. They painted the windows and decorated it and stuff and done everything up. But we put new carpets in it. Anyway, I was working afternoons. I'll never forget it. And the wife used to go up to her mum's because I was on afternoons, and I used to pick her up on the way back. And many times I used to say, "I'll go to the chippy and get some chips on the way back for something to eat." So when we used to get back at night, pull up outside, and the place I'm telling you about in a minute, I'll tell you where it is, and it's one of the most haunted places in the Midlands. And pulls up outside, and all the lights were on in the house. And I says to the missus, I said, "You've left all the lights on." She says, "I ain't left the lights on." So I says, "Hold on, let me go and check in case anybody's broke in." So I went, opened the door. Every single light was on, literally. So I turned them all off, left the living room light on, we went in. Felt a bit eerie inside. I knew there was something there, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Anyway, when a few nights went by when we was just there, laying in bed one night. We only decorated the bedroom, and we left the other spare bedroom. No carpet in it. Anyway, laying in bed. And the next door neighbours, there were nobody living in it. And I thought, this is a bit strange. Why nobody living next door? So anyway, laying in bed, the bed moved, shook. And I thought it was an earthquake. Next minute, I heard somebody running up the stairs. So I thought somebody's broke in or something. So like you do, you either carry a baseball bat or something under the bed or something for safety. So I got my bottoms on, runs to the door. The bedroom, the landing light come on. Opened the door, went to run out because I thought somebody were there. Nobody there. I thought, this is weird. So run back downstairs, nobody in the house, the doors are all locked. Run back upstairs, so there's nobody there. Gets back into bed. Next minute, bang, 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 bang. All round the bedroom wall, echoing, all the way round. The bedroom door was echoing, like one of these films you see where it echoes. And it was bell ringing literally. And I said to the wife, "Can you hear it?" And she went, "Yeah." My daughter waking up crying because of the noise. And it was echoing, banging. And you could hear this echoing and all these bells ringing. And I thought, something ain't right here. And it went freezing cold. Obviously, and then all of a sudden I heard this running up and downstairs again. And I heard such a good bang. So I went into the other bedroom because it was coming from the bedroom. I went in the bedroom door was open, the light was on. There was nobody there. Next minute, I heard a banging downstairs at the back door. So I went out front, went round the back, nobody there. Went back in again. Then all of a sudden, we got an inside, it was like a downstairs toilet. And there was a banging coming from inside. And the light kept going on and off. I thought, someone's in there. So I opened the door, unlocked it, opened the door. There was nobody in it. I said, I want to get the electricity board to come out. So they come out, done a check on electrics. Nothing up with the electrics, mate. Nothing up with it. And this particular night, it kept happening constant. If you go to the toilet in the bathroom door had opened. And you could feel a draft come in. And you could feel a presence. And I could sense there was something there. Anyway, goes to the chip of this certain night. A young girl served me. And she seen my wife sitting in the car. She says, "Oh, you're married to such and such, my friend." She says, "My friend used to live in there." I went, "Really?" Yeah, she says, "She's not living there now." Is it all right, the house? I says, "Well, what are you saying that for?" "Oh, such and such moved in there. There's a lot of activity in that, you know." And then I found out then that the mother, she died. She had a mass heart attack in there, violent. and there were a lot of family things happening in it, and that's what it was. And we were sitting there on a Sunday watching EastEnders, and my daughter was in a rocker in front of the TV, and we got my wife's nan and granddad. They bought us a butterfly dish with a lid on it, and it was sitting on top of the TV. My daughter was sitting in a rocker in front of the TV, and we were watching EastEnders. Next minute, both of us looked at each other. It was an apparition of somebody's arm. You could see it lifted the glass butterfly dish up and went poof. It missed my daughter's head and smashed up the wall. And I thought, this is enough. I says, get your stuff. We're going out here because it's going to get violent. This was poltergeist activity. I'd read up about it and stuff and done some studying. I went to my local church up the road. He was a priest. And I told him about it. And he says, not just that house, but the houses all the way along there, you'll very rarely see anybody living in them. And I said, what do you mean? He said, it's not usually the house, it's the ground. There's that many been murdered on that street. And it's really bad. And that was an encounter we had. we was finding dead birds and stuff in the house. And I thought, where the hell they come from? But the windows were shut. And we was finding them on the floor, different places and stuff. And there was things being moved, there was keys being moved and everything else. But eventually we moved out, and they says to me, the call boy, you can buy the house if you want. And I says, what are you on about? He said, you can buy the house if you want. And I says, what? You can have it for £2,500. This is the truth. £2,500 you can have the house for, and it was a 3-bedroom, a semi. You can have it for nearly £2,500. And I said, you got no chance. And when I told him about it, and I told the priest, he says the old houses are coming down eventually in the future. And then not long after, going back a year ago, somebody my wife knew said they pulled most of the houses down on that estate, built new houses on top of the ground, and they're getting activity. I said, no wonder.
They took away one set of houses and just stuck another set on top of it, and maybe would you tell? Maybe when they pulled the old ones down, maybe if they tried to bless the ground or whatever, do you think that might have made some kind of difference? Maybe.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think there was. It's either somebody was buried on that ground. I know there was murders and stuff, but there was something there definitely, because there was that many stories I heard about different things, what had happened. There were shootings and stuff, and and some of it was quite horrific. Some of the stuff you heard, different stories and what had happened and that. There's a lot of things, but you hear a lot of places will say, oh yeah, our house is haunted. And I said to them before, your house might be haunted. I said you could pull it down. I said, but no, it might be your house. It could be the ground it's on.
Aye. So
same as America, native, Native American Indians burial grounds. I've heard that many different stories about different things. You see them on these shows and stuff, and they've got activity. It's not always the building, it's the ground. Built.
I mean, one thing I've always often thought, when you think about it, all the people, throughout history, millions and millions of people have occupied Britain, through hundreds of years. They've all died. They've got to be buried somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah. So who knows what's buried underneath you? You never know. It could be 200.
It's like here, isn't it? Like, you're talking hundreds of years ago, there weren't no cemeteries. So where did they put them?
Exactly. As Nicole asking, what do you use to do your cleansing, and what prayers do you use when doing it?
Well, I use my guides to help me. Very close. I just use my own prayers, power of God and all that surrounds you, and the love of light protects you. I'll always ground myself first. You just do the prayers like, the love of God protects you and surrounds you. It's the same as your protection prayer. So Archangel Michael, protect us, defend us in battle and all that. There's that many different prayers and different things, you can use and that. Yeah, you use holy water and stuff, and oil and stuff like that. And you can use the sage and stuff to cleanse the place. But it depends. I've had one or two places where, the place is needed to be blessed. And I've been round, and then it's just like I've said something and moved round in that room and cleansed it. I usually get confirmation off my guides that they've either gone or they've been sent over or somebody's come for them. If you turn around and say, well, such and such is here, there's somebody around them, usually another spirit or family member is usually with them. If there's a spirit in that property, they'll come forward and they'll take them with them. I'll get confirmation, or I can see another spirit come close, or somebody will talk. I've got one here for you. There's a place, it's in Paisley, and I was told that they've got a lot of activity. Could you go and see if you can, help them? So I went. I didn't know anything about the place. Didn't know nothing at all. I walked into the building. There was 4 members of staff walking around with me. And the lady who showed me the people to let them know who I was, she walked off. And she says, my name's such and such. I said, oh, nice to meet you. I said, it's all right if I walk round? She goes, yeah, of course you can. So I walked round. I said, I don't want to know nothing what's happening here. I'll find out myself. So I was walking around, went upstairs, walked around the place, come back down. I said, there was a fire in here. I was burning in my chest. That was really bad, burning. I said, there was a fire in here. I said, a lot of people died in here. I said, there's a lot of people here need sending over. I said, no, when you've got activity in this place. She said, oh, we get plates and everything thrown, and we get this and that and different things. And then I turned to her and I says, and I don't usually give readings on anybody. I just do the rescue stuff to help spirit move over. As soon as I walked in, I turned around to the owner. I says, you're thinking of doing something, but think very wisely what you're going to do. And she looked at me and she says, I said, this is coming from your mum and dad. I told her mum and dad's name. I said, they're telling me this and that, and told her. And she looked at me. And then the other woman who was with her, I think she was a chef, I told her who was with her. I said, your dad and your brother have got the same name. I said, they're always with you. Whatever you decide what you're going to do, you do it from your guts. If you're going to do something, do it. And then there was another woman there, and I told her the same. There was somebody connected to them, because I could feel the energy off them. And I said, such and such, this is what you've got to do. And then she gets her hand in her pocket, and she comes out with a wage packet. I said, what's that? She said, this is for you. I said, I don't want no money off you. So I said, keep that. I said, this is something. I said, it's nice to know that you've got loved ones close to you who will try and help you and try and direct you in the right direction. Because spirit will try and give you a right direction. They'll give you something. Put something in front of you, and it'll come to you like a memory. It'll come to you, or something will happen, and it'll come. And then you do it, and you'll think about it. Anyway, I told him this and that, and I said, this place needs cleansing. And I said, whatever you do. And then she says, can you come back? I said, yeah, I'll come back. The time I went back, a few days after, they went into liquidation. And she took with a gut instinct what she was going to do. And I went to go back to the building, and it was all boarded up. So I've never been back to see who's actually got the building. But I know there was a fire in it years ago. And I know a lot of people perished in it. And most of the spirits are still there, and they've caused a lot of activity. But as it goes for cleansing and stuff, it's weird to do different cleansings. There's different ways of doing different stuff. You got your sage and stuff. You've got your oil, and you got your holy water. And there's different ways of prayers and stuff. Everybody's got a different way. You can seal the doors, and you can do stuff. If a spirit's actually been in a house and causing an havoc, what I've told people to do, and it's worked, is use salt, normal table salt, outside your front door, right the way from the front of the door, right the way across the front door and the back door. and it stops the spirits coming in. There's quite a few things. It's the same as mirrors and stuff. There's that many different things I've heard about mirrors and stuff. They made films about it. You know, and the different stories. I know John Zaffris has got a mirror. What, 2 of the people bought it to him. It was shown at the end of the film. I know that he's got the mirror. I think it's the Oculus, I think it is. The mirror, the old mirror. It's caused a lot of deaths over the years and stuff. I know that Lorraine and Ed Warren's got 1 or 2 mirrors in their museum in Connecticut. Same thing, the old energy. You know, there's quite a lot of mirrors, old energy. If anything's happened in a building or everything, it gets drawn to it, you know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things about cleansing, you know. There are different prayers. Everybody's got a different way of doing it.
I suppose it's whatever you works for yourself.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you find a way, I think it's with everything. You know, a job. You find an easy way to do a job, or you know, you find a way to do a job that works for you. And you stick to it. And it's the same with cleansing and investigating.
Yeah.
If you get a technique, a certain routine that you're comfortable with, everybody else is comfortable, then, you know, by all means, that Clover saying my lawn, blinds were moving, and Alan told me to put salt around the front door, and it worked. You know, there you go. So, but there's a lot of teams out there.
There's a lot of things. It's the same as, you know, it's the same as all the occult stuff and that, you know. Don't get me wrong about, you know, there's good witches and bad witches and stuff, and I know quite a few. Friends with quite a few from all over up and down the country and overseas. And I've got some good friends and that, you know. And if I need any help and I can't cope with it, then I know somebody who will. I've got 1 or 2 demonologists. I've got one down south I know very well. He lives in Newcastle. And then there's one of, you know, I've got a friend, like I said to you, I've had 1 or 2 people contact me from overseas. In the last week, I had 2 people contact me. They wanted help.
That's what I was going to ask. About that American one. You said our team couldn't get in. That's the wrong comment. I thought, no, just what you're saying about witches. Wisteria, she's a witch as well. She's in the chat as well, Claire. She's really nice. She's nuts, you know, she's nuts, but it's a good nuts. You know what I mean? She's a witch as well. So what happened with the one in Texas? It was. I remember you mailed me.
Yeah, I've got a friend out there who's he's a medium, and he studied a lot of demonology and stuff. He got his own talk show and stuff. Pardon me. So I got in touch with him, and I got in touch with somebody else because another father, a priest, had been around to the ladies, and they couldn't get rid of it. They told her basically that you got 2 incubuses, 2 demonic infestation attached to you, and she was petrified. And she asked me, what can I do? I said, if I was there, I could do something about it. I said, but I know somebody. Leave it with me. She gave me the names, and so I've done some research. I'm not going to step on another paranormal group out in the States, because if they're doing a case, you know, it's like stepping on somebody's toes. No, if they've got to do the job, let them do it. So what I've done is I got in touch with somebody I knew to see if it was legit or not, because she says to me, I've got no money. I said, what do you mean? I don't want no money off you. So I got in touch with somebody, and they come back and said, I've got no clue who they are. So I've done a bit of research myself. I went online, and it was a part of TAP's group.
I've seen them on TV. I've watched a couple of them.
What I've done is I got in touch with somebody I know, quite a good friend, and he knows somebody, and he got in touch with her, and she got back to me and said, thank you very much. He says that Alan knows who you are, and you've legit, like. I said, he won't rip you off or nothing. He knows what he's doing. Now, I know that he's making arrangements now to go to the house. But the other group, who's supposed to be a priest, I'm not knocking the fatherhood or anything, but there was a priest, a part of a group. I don't know that, well, I know the person I know, he knows the group, but they should have dealt with it properly, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So he's dealing with it. But that was one case, and that had another case then that somebody had asked, "Does anybody know such and such?" And I sent a link. Within half an hour, I got a message back from America in Texas saying, "Yeah, I've got somebody who's a demonologist, and he's on his way to the group. He knows the group well. He was from Pennsylvania, and he was heading towards the town, and he was going to go and see the group. And if they need assistance, he's more than happy to help them free of charge." So it's like, it's nice for people to come forward and ask for help, because they'll get it. If you've got it, you can help them, you know.
Exactly, but see, unfortunately, the downside of the paranormal is you're going to get people out there who are going to jump on it. You know,
you'll get skeptics out there who'll say, "I don't believe in that crap" and all that. Yeah, you get it everywhere, don't you? You know, "Oh, I don't believe in that crap. Why is this?" I've start this week and last week, the amount of people I've had to delete because they say, "I don't believe in that crap." Well, why are you on paranormal then? Why are you doing paranormal for if you're into that sort of stuff? If you don't believe in it, yeah, I know everybody's going to ask you questions. You know, I know there's been one or two things been said on Facebook about different stuff about live investigations and stuff. Yeah, I do. You know, if you want to do live investigations, do a live investigation. Nobody can stop you. You know, everybody's open-minded. You know.
That's it. I know a couple of people, you know, I've worked with a couple of people before. Even as I was saying about the swing door in my old work, I told a couple of the boys the next day about it, and they said, "You're talking crap." I says, "Look, I don't have any reason to lie to you about it. You know, I was saying myself." But yeah, you're going to get skeptics, but you're going to get these people as well, which I think is a good thing that, you know, they'll turn and say, "You know, I don't believe in it, but I'll listen to you."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Instead of these people say, "You're talking crap, end of story, goodbye." I think it's better if you get a skeptic. I mean, I've noticed I've known a couple of them say, "Look, I don't really believe in life after death, and I think when you die and lights out and that's it, good night. But I'll take on board what you're saying, and if you can show me proof, then you know I'll look at it." But there is, I think it's a kind of subject that you're never going to get everybody to believe 100%. And even in investigations, I think it's important as well that even if you get into an investigation, you're better to get in with an open mind.
Oh yeah, you know, definitely.
You get teams that will go in, and I'm not disrespecting them. It's just the way that you'll get teams that are 100% focused. You know, right? We're going into Greyfriars and we're going to get something. And the minute they hear a twig snap or something, it's paranormal. That's paranormal. We've got something. We've only been in here a minute and 30 seconds, but we've got something. Do you know what I mean? And you think, it just work like that. You know, you're better to have, well, maybe that was, maybe it was a twig.
Well, it's like what I said. When you go anywhere, well, we've been anywhere, you know, I'll just say, don't say nothing. And then you just walk in and you know, and you walk around and stuff, and then all of a sudden they'll say, yeah, you know, this and that, and I'm going, I say, well, just wait a minute, we ain't got anything here. And I'll think, hold on a minute. When you get back and you sit down and you go through your footage, you think, what the hell's that? There's only 4 of us, and there's a 5th figure standing right next to you. You know, things just happen. If it's going to happen, it happens. If it don't, it don't. You know, you can't make them. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I heard you saying about a few nights ago about you get the fake mediums and stuff when you was talking with Patty the other night. He was on about fake mediums. Yeah, you do get a lot of them. You know, I know a few people where they charge an earth, you know, to read somebody. You know, people say, "Oh, can you give me a read?" I'll go, "No, I won't," because I'm not into that sort of stuff. I'll do my side of stuff where I help spirit. If I go to a building, or before I go to the building and get a vision, or know something before I go, then if they need help, they'll come to me, and I'll get a message, or I'll get a tug, or I'll know that they're close to me. When I see anybody, sometimes if I'm in it anywhere, or I'm talking to somebody, it could be 400 miles away. When I'm talking to somebody, I can pick something up, I can feel the energy. I can feel what's coming through, and I can know there's something there, and then I'll say. But I've heard that much crap over the years. Yeah, there's a lot of skeptics out there. Everybody's born with it. Everybody's born with it. And that's why when you're younger in the early ages, you're more prone to see something. It could be something in the corner of your eye, or you see a spirit or see something. It's the way they prevail it to you to get used to it, and then it builds. You hear loads of people saying, "Oh, they've seen this and that," but you get a lot of people who later on in life they all see stuff, and you get a lot of proper. You've got Doris Stokes and stuff. Colin Fry who passed and that, and you got and different mediums and stuff. But there's a lot of well-known. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good mediums out there, and then you get a lot of fakes.
I mean, I can pick up spirit, and I look at photographs and I'll be able to pick up things with photographs and maybe footage or what have you. But I don't call myself a medium, and I never have, and I never will. It doesn't happen all the time. It happens when it happens, and that's it. I don't claim to be anything.
I don't publicise on the Facebook page. On the top of my page, paranormal investigator. I don't put it on that. Well, I've only just put it on about the college, like Arthur Findlay College, and some studying. I've had 1 or 2 certificates given to me, not just photocopied, sent from London. I've got a certificate because I've been doing different things over the years and stuff. The one I've got, it's got my number on it. It's got the tutor on it, and it's got the CHA, the guidelines for the regulations, upholding the Federation for mediumship course. I've done. But you get people say, "Oh yeah, whatever." If everybody's got their own opinion, haven't they?
Exactly. I mean, I've never done any courses. I'll tell you where I learned the most was if you're saying earlier on about spiritualist churches. I used to go in the spiritualist churches in Glasgow. I used to go out the one, I don't know if you know, the top end of Circuit Hall Street. You just go over Charing Cross.
Oh, I say, yeah.
It's a big one. And it was amazing the amount of energy. The amount of tips and what have you I picked up with just getting in and just sitting down with people and having a cup of coffee with them and just talking to different people every single week. What you can pick up. And I used to go to Circuit Hall Street, Shettleston, Lanside Halls over near Battlefield, near the Victoria.
Yeah.
Also, I used to go to A3. There was one in East Kilbride I used to go to as well. So, everybody's got their own way of learning. I think it's. I used to go to the Spiritualist Church all the while. And then I stopped going then because something happened to me years ago, what I actually saw, and I asked for help and I didn't get it. And so I didn't bother going back. And then I says that the church wouldn't stay together, and it didn't, and it separated, and then somebody went the other way and somebody went the other way, and it's built back up again. But I've never been back since. I've not been for. I don't know how many years I've been since I was last there. It's always been in the back of my mind to get back up, just for a wee trip up. But it's one of these things you say, right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get back. But you'd never actually get around to doing it, But I used to go every Sunday religiously, pardon the pun. Every Sunday I used to go every single week. There's Steve, Brett. I don't know. He see every time we're on a live, he changes his name. His real name. He's a strange. We talk to him every day. He's a strange man. We'll leave it at that. But he wants to know if you can back up with some footage and some footage.
Yeah, that should be all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's on the page. Is he? I don't know if he's on our page or not. Renfrew Paranormal Investigators. If you want to come on to that, and I'll accept you, and you can look at all the footage then. I've got loads. We've got loads of footage in the archives. Nobody's ever even saw from going back years. And it's just getting that and splicing it and putting it onto disc and stuff. It's all on tape. All ours are VHS tapes, and I'd still stick with that. The VHS tape night vision cameras we've got, and the 8mm. We've got some SD cards and all that, and full spectrum. But you can't beat the old VHS night vision camera tapes. And I think that, I don't know what it is like, but there's quite that many. Like the JVC, they give a lot of blur when you're filming. It looks like you've got a quarter spirit running when you're turning the camera, because the shutter on the camera is too slow. And when you're trying to turn the camera, you're just picking up a blur. I've had loads of groups, it's been over the years. Here's one for you. I had a VHS camera recorder, and I stuck it on eBay, and a guy bought it off me. And when he got it, he said it don't work. It must have been damaged. And I knew straight away before he even said it that there was activity in his house. And, so I says to him, there's nothing up with the camera. He sent it back, the camera, and says, keep the money. I says, no, I'll give you money back. So I got the camera, plugged it in, put the battery in, worked straight away. He says, the camera won't work. I says, I can tell you now. I sent him a private message anyway. And the guy was getting on. And I told him exactly what was up with this building, what he had bought, and what it was laying on, where he got it from, and what the attachment he had with it. And he goes, how did you know that? I says, I'm telling you, you need to get rid of that. There's attachment to the mattress, what you bought, the electric bed from a second-hand shop. Get rid of it now. So how did you know I bought an electric bed? I said, I'm telling you, I'm picking up on this. And this spirit is quite agitated. It's her bed, and you've got it, and her energy's on that bed. The guy had lost his dog. His dog had to put his dog down. It went mad. This is the truth, this is. The guy was disabled. And he said to me, what do I do? I said, get rid of it. So he got his brother-in-law to come out. They got the bed and got rid of it. Took it back to the shop and got rid of it. And I said, you're best to get rid of it properly. You can't just take it back to the shop. So he said, well, take it to the tip and get rid of it, disperse it, break it up. After he got rid of it, the atmosphere changed. There was an attachment to the bed. And he didn't, the guy says, I can't believe you come up with this. I says, I know. So I said to him, do you want the camera? And he goes, no. He says, keep the camera. I'll give him his money back. But it's like everything. Things have attachments. When you go to a place and you buy something, you could have an attachment to it. He had it, and luckily this guy, I helped him, his bed. There was attachment to it. Because of the energy of the person who died on the bed. The place, they shouldn't have sold the mattress. Because it had a cover on it. They took the cover off probably and, sold the mattress with the bed. So there's a lot of things. There's loads of things, to do with the paranormal. You know what I mean? Every day's a learning thing for everybody. I've
said that many a time, and it's the paranormal, as we've ever seen it, Patty, the other night, the amount of stuff that she's done, the paranormal is that vast. There's that many different fields to the paranormal. Everybody thinks the paranormal is just ghost hunting, end of. Go with a camera in a cemetery, a castle, whatever. But when you actually sit back, I'll refer again to Patty, sorry, but when I was reading through, everything she'd done, it makes you realise just how vast the paranormal world is, and how many, and it's something that you could study for decades, practically.
Everything. Every day is a different thing. Learning, everything. Don't matter what it is.
You'll still never ever learn everything. Whether it's 20, 30, 40 years you're at it for, you're still going to learn something different, day in, day out. So where you go next in life, obviously the present circumstances are a bit, everything's up in the air, but what's your next?
The next one is probably, if it get the clear, probably up in Dundee, probably.
Dundee's nice. I've been in many of you.
We've had somebody contact Catherine, which she knows, and said they needed an investigation at a place. They've had a lot of activity and stuff. So we'll see. Like, it'd be nice to get into the building and see what we pick up. But there's quite a few places. You know, it's just like everything. This coronavirus is just a nightmare at the minute.
As well, we're as soon as everything's over and done with, I think we hope to get to the necropolis, the Kinmount Street as well. There's a team we're talking to down south, GSI investigations. They're coming on. Well, I've had them on before, but they're coming on. I think it's the end of next week. They're coming on. I think. What we're planning to do. We've been talking about it for a couple of months, is to try and do a joint live with him.
Yeah.
We're going to get down to Kinmount Street, Dumfriesshire.
Yeah.
And there'll be something else. So that's kind of like second top of your list. But obviously that could be next year sometime. Who knows?
Yeah.
Whenever it's going to happen. But we're going to because that's no tour, so we're going to wind it up just now. Yeah. Anyway, folks, Andy, if you could just stay on panel after we go off, if that's all right, buddy.
Yeah.
You just stay where you are. But thanks everybody for coming in, leaving your comments. It's been great. I hope you've enjoyed Andy being here. It's certainly a wealth of knowledge, folks. And we shall see you tomorrow night. So take care, everybody, for now, and we'll talk to you all very soon.
Night.
Bye.
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 Bye.